Hi, Brian Meek with New Concepts. It's time to talk about our stainless steel bench pins again. There have been some changes in them over the years, and it's time to do a new video anyway. So here it is in its original glory, and I should probably explain what all these little widgets do. The most obvious thing is the ring hook in the front. What that's for is to let you size rings. It's adjustable for any particular angle that you want that's comfortable for you. And what you do is you just hang a ring on there and cut through. This particular V-grooved one, it was originally intended for solitaire kind of ladies' rings. We have, in the years since we came out with this, developed another couple of little widgets that go on here. So for example, this one is stepped so that I can get a big flat gents ring on here and cut it fairly easily. Again, adjustable. Those are available separately on the website. They're like 10 bucks, not a big deal. This thing, people always wonder what on earth is going on with the brass bar. What it is the fence so that you can adjust or you can file or cut to a particular angle. So when it's lined up like this, it's at 90 degrees, and each one of these is 15 degrees farther over. It goes all the way to 45 degrees if it's in this hole. It's not right now because this is in the way. The point of this whole thing is that it lets you pick an angle and then either cut or file to it. That's why it hangs out over the edge a little bit. So that you can run a piece of metal up here. This is now at 15 degrees. And if you gently come along the edge and use that as a filing guide, you've now got a 15 degree straight edge. Or you can bring it over here and go to 90 or all the way up to 45. That's what that's about. Or it just comes off. You just unscrew it and it comes off and it's easy. The other thing for these two little spikes back here, which are kind of funny looking, the point of them is to be a guide for your flex shaft. So if you put a number 30 handpiece in here and run it up and down, it will exactly bullseye that hole. So you've got a way to drill a hole that is straight up and down. Or if you come around to the front, if you're using a small drill bit, it'll just go right through. But if you're using a wheel cutter or a setting burr or something, and you want to make sure that you're moving straight up and down for whatever thing you need to do, that's what it's for. Those mostly live in these two back holes, but they can go anywhere. But that's what they're there for. They will also fit up here so that you can bullseye this open section with a much bigger drill bit if you need to. Or alternately, you can put a burr down in the hole and use that kind of like a little mini milling machine. That's really what that was intended for. But over the years, people have used these things in all sorts of strange ways that I didn't think of and Lee didn't think of. So, for example, we got people asking us for the stepped ring version, which we made. And now we've got a new little widget, but first let me talk about other ways to use this. We only ever intended that there should be one thing in the front. But I've seen a lot of people using both sides. This was originally just intended for the left-handed people, so that all of our stuff is ambidextrous and we can manage it. So we put this on here for the lefties. And we suddenly see people using all sorts of weird things in both slots. So, okay, we can do that now. And what this red guy is a jump ring cutter. It's available on the website. They're like, a couple of bucks, not a big deal. What you do with them is you take your coil and you thread it onto your blade and you set it up right like this, and then you just cut through. And yeah, they do get torn up, but they're intended to be sacrificial. And you just cut your way down the coil. And now I've got a bunch of jump rings cut just about that fast. I mean, yes, there are bigger, fancier jump ring cutters out there, but the advantage to this thing is it costs 10 bucks and it lives on your bench pen. and it will take pretty much any size you care, from little coils like this all the way up to much bigger coils like that. The trick, as much as there is one, is on the bigger coils, while it's still on the mandrel, wrap it up in masking tape or something to hold it compressed while you're cutting. That will make your life a lot easier. But on little coils like this, you don't really need to. But again, if you wrapped it up in masking tape, it would make your life easier. But you just basically go to town on it. It's not that hard. And you can easily have two things on your bench pin at any given point. And then when you need it to go away, up and off and onto the next bench pin. So that's the new and improved stainless steel bench pins. You can always, now you can put multiple things on both sides of it and use the jump ring cutter and the ring pin in any which way you want to. All of them are available separately. You don't have to buy the whole bench pin to get the little dingus. In fact, the bench pin only comes with the original one. The other two are separate. But that's it. That's our stainless steel bench pin. As always, if you have any questions, you can always reach us through the website, www.newconcepts.com. Thank you very much.